back to Real Comic Book Talk. How I do that there. Your boy's back because I'm blessed with glorious purpose. Before I get it started, though, because I got to calm it down. I'm by myself. I don't want my daughter looking at me crazy in the background. I will have her clap it up. I see you over there, baby girl. We back, goddamn! Hey, everybody, welcome back to Real Comic Book Talk, where I'm blessed with glorious purpose, as it's my duty, my solemn duty, to review Loki, Season 1, Episode 2. I gotta say, this right here is a banger. This show, I really like this show. It's Marvel don't disappoint. When they do it right. It starts out in, 1985 at like an old fair festival. And then the time variant Loki is pretty much setting up the TVA for another attack. I mean, let's go with attack. It's a really sharp show. I really how Loki. It doesn't seem like Morbius. All right, so let's put it like this. All right, let's take a step back, right? So Morbius and Loki seem to be on par. Morbius is not easily manipulated by Loki, and that was a really big deal for me, because I didn't want this whole show to be how Loki just setting up Morbius and he already has, like, he can easily manipulate him. It was really important that Morbius shows that he's intellectually, he knows what's coming, he doesn't trust him completely, he's using them. They seem to be using each other, and Loki doesn't seem to have an upper hand. Brilliant. I'm really happy about that. With that being said, it's so much to talk about, but not that much. All right. Let's take a step back, because it's getting out of hand, and I'm ready to jump around, and I don't have Daniel out here to hold me back, so I got to do it myself, and it's a little difficult, because I want to talk about the very end, because the ending was spectacular. The ending is what I wanted to talk about. It's so good, but we got to work our way through it. So the episode had a lot to do with pretty much investigation, trying to decide what this Loki is going to do. And I really don't know how many episodes this show is. I never looked at it, so I really don't know at all. But I do know that it's not moving slow. Like, it has the same kind of pacing as Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but just, kind of up the ante a little bit. Like, it's the same pacing. It's literally almost the same exact pacing, but it's just done differently. One is, dealing with space magic. The other one is not. The other one is a more political show. It's paced way faster than WandaVision. WandaVision just took forever to get into it, to really get you like, oh my gosh. But this was just right. This is just right. What else I want to talk about? Let's do it like this. Let's do it character by character. First, we're going to start with Morbius. Morbius, played by Owen Wilson. I know it's a Wilson. Fantastic. Oh my God. He does a great job with the back and forth dialogue he has with Loki. He does a great job trying to explain himself. You still have that Owen Wilson feel like he's excited. He's ready to tackle the situation, but he still has it, because that's like a mainstay in almost every character he's ever played, especially in like Wedding Crashers, where he was phenomenal. Even Drill Built. The one when he was teaching the kids how to be tough, when he was really selling about Dribble Taylor. This is just the fact that he was great. His performance in this show is spectacular. His back and forth dialogue, quick wittedness is just fantastic, and he doesn't really have any cut cards. Like, look, you're the villain. I know you're a villain. I'm using you to an end, and I'm not going to be easily talked to or manipulated, and I can think just as fast and quick. I'm quick witted, just as much as you are. It's fantastic. Well, Wilson, you did a fantastic job. Next one I want to talk about, obviously, Loki. Let's just keep it right there. Loki is Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Might be one of the great Marvel castings of all time. Well, of all time, because of all time, he plays it well, and the ability to go from a character Last time we saw him in Avengers End, well, not I'm not talking about Endgame, because he was only there for a brief moment. But like Avengers Infinity War, where he was a transformation. So Loki from the first Thor to Endgame is a character arc. He had a whole character arc where he went from mischievous to losing his trust to gaining the trust of his brother, and you've seen all in the episode before, which we didn't review because life. But you seen that, and for Tom Hiddleston to go back to the first iteration of Loki, where he was still young. Well, not young, but he was still naive and really sort of full of himself and arrogant. Just getting right back to that, just fantastic. He just to get a great job. His back and forth, and then he's realizing that he can't manipulate Morbius as easily as everybody else, and just great because he had me confused for a little moment. Excuse me, right there, but he had me confused for a little moment. He had me when they were in the tent and he's like, "Stop." This is the setup. I'm like, "Oh, is it really it?" I was just like Morbius. I was like, "Oh, you got me." But then he played this card just a little too much. Like, I want some time, I want some assurances. One, that I won't be wiped out of existence, and two, that I get to meet the timekeepers. They're in much more danger than we believe. I was like, you played it too much, and I was so happy that Morbius did not fall for that. Like, you almost got me. We're moving out. It was just a brilliant, beautiful. I mean, not beautiful, strong. It was a brilliant, and just the little small things in the show make it work. Just showing the different Lokis that in the beginning of the show, like the different versions of Loki, and so I gotta know. All right, so this is what I'm confused at. There's a sacred timeline, right? Right. As far as everybody knows, there's a sacred timeline in this show. It's just one timeline. You can't vary off from the timeline. If you do, then things that happen to create different multiverses and they go out of control. So if that's the case, right, then how you have all these different variants of Loki? Where are they coming from? What timelines are they coming from? Because if you just have the one, if you capture them and you're supposed to wipe out existence, how you get all these different ones? That's what's really throwing me off. Because I'm starting to think now that the timekeepers, the three, ones that they said that were in the little cartoon, are telling a lie. They're telling the TVA that it's just one timeline, one universe. And if you vary off from that, they create another universe. Well, we all know there is a multiverse coming in the MCU. So my question is, does Loki set that up along with WandaVision, or the timekeepers are lying and they know it's only one there's more universe because there's a whole multiverse, and they want to keep control of this one. Keep this one intact. Because where in the world all these Infinity Stones come from? I mean, if you have them all, and do they come from other Loki? It's so many different stuff starting to add up, and I'm starting to question: are the time variants really the good guys? Because I know in the comics, when watching this YouTube channel, Comics Explained with Rob and Geek Culture Explained, I love his 2 channels. I will stand by them. They are fantastic. I love them. Those are one of my 2 favorite channels to watch about comic books. Anyway, I watch it. But about comic books, so my 2 favorite channels to watch. He does a great job. I can see why he has almost 2 million subscribers. He's fantastic. He's the best in the world. He's the best in the world. I dare I said it. I'm second. He's number 1. But he's saying that the timekeepers, they really didn't care about, helping out. They just wanted to be in power. So I'm thinking that these timekeepers are the same thing. They created the TVA in the MCU to keep in power of their universe. They're part of the multiverse. Earth, I'm not sure which one this is, but the main Marvel universe, they want to keep that intact. So they're doing that and telling everybody a lie, like this is the only timeline and we can't have out of control. Not letting anybody else know that there's a multiverse. And I bet you if there's something they're going to tell the TVA this is a timer and we need to stop it. So that's what I'm starting to believe that about the time variants, that they don't have the best intentions. Actually, their intentions just as self-absorbed and power-hungry as Loki is, to be honest with you. Maybe there's a lot of common. So now that we got I just want to get that out the way. Y'all probably waiting too long. I know y'all want to talk about it, so let's get right into it. Lady Loki is the time variant in this the TVA is chasing, and I should have saw it coming, and I swear to gosh, I wish I did. And this is fantastic. Oh my gosh, Lady Loki. It's Loki. It's literally Loki. In the comics anyway, he's Loki. But after the events of, I think it was Ragnarok, and then Thor. I know Thor went. He came to Earth, created a new Asgard, and started waking up. Everybody thought the Asgardians were dead, but the Assassins, him and the other people, he was waking up. He was going to different places and waking up the Asgardians and stuff like that. And then he found one big hub of them, and he woke them all up. And then when he woke up, was to be Loki, ended up being a woman, so forth. It was part of a bigger plan. If I'm remembering that right, I could not be. It's a lot of comic books in my head, and I can't do them all. If not the Ninja Turtles, I can't remember a perfect order. If the Ninja Turtles book, I know it completely ordered. Everything else is kind of out of whack. But if I'm not mistaken, that's it. So if that's the case, and that's how that Loki. So if that's the case, this Loki is almost a pound for pound version of Lady Loki is almost a pound for pound version of the original Loki. But I really don't think that's gonna happen. I honestly think, and it's just me spitballing here, that this Loki is smarter, been around the block. It was I had a conversation with somebody else that this Loki was Lady Loki said she doesn't want to take over the time ring. So now we treat what does she want? Because if she doesn't want that, right? She doesn't want to just take over the time, not the time, but the timekeepers, and then want to be the head person in charge. What does she want? Does she want complete destruction where everybody has free will? Because they brought that up early up in the show. Conversation between Loki and Morbius about free will, right? And if everything's already determined and written, then there's no free will. The only people who have free will is me and you because we're going back, because we're outside the time stream. You're like, well, that's not how it's supposed to be. Like everybody, he brings a broad stroke, and then Owen Wilson said, well, that's just a broad view of it. It's much more detailed, but hey, let's go with that. Let's dumb it down. And so I'm just picking up on the little things, and I know I shouldn't because the MCU has a tendency to give you a little bit, but then it's simplified at the end so everybody can keep along, which is, I'm not going to complain about because, it's a formula that works. But, just fight. You got to fight everything in your comic book being to just take every little clue and just run off with it. We did it with WandaVision. It turned out to be completely wrong. We thought we were going to see so much more than what we did. We ended up being very disappointed. I'm not trying to get that far into this one, but they're teasing me and I can't help it. Like, for instance, I can't remember the name of the Owen Wilson's boss. Seems to be her boss. The one who judged Loki when he first got there was like the judge, and now she has the office with all the time relics that her TVA agents have brought to her over different cases. And she's like the only one who actually talks with the timekeepers. And I'm thinking, something just don't feel right. Like the comic book person in me, right? This is the comic book person. Comic book person in me wants to be like, okay, here we go. She's really the person behind the strings. She made up the whole TVA. And she's coming down, acting like there's some creatures when they really don't exist. It's just her doing all the things, right? That's what I'm thinking at first. It's not really everybody. It's not really the timekeepers. It's her, because she keeps saying, "Yeah, I talk to him and can't see him and all that stuff." And nobody's ever seen the timekeepers but her. So that's what I'm thinking. But when at the end of the episode, when Lady Loki bombed the timeline, and he came in, and all the timekeeper agents, TVA agents were running into the doorways to try to stop the bombs or reset timelines and stuff like that. She grabbed up her weapon and ran out too. I'm confused now. And Loki's confusing me, and I don't like it, but I love it. It's the reason why I hate weekly drops of streaming shows. I need all this at once. Today I'm off, so I could have sat back and watched every single episode. Got the clues, came back, and we would have had a grand discussion. I probably would have even got Island Daniel here. But this weekly time thing is killing me, and I gotta wait a whole week. My imagination's gonna run wild, and by the end of this series, the end of the season, I'm like, I had all those plans, and I should have saw it coming. They were gonna dump it. And I'm gonna blame myself when I should be blaming Marvel, and I do blame Marvel, and it's killing me. Gosh, it's killing me. It's hurting my soul. It's hurting my soul. And just I can't. I need it all dropped in once. I really do. Weekly things are not. It's not what I like. It's not what I like, and it's just not what I like. Streaming, I need it all at once. It's just something that just eats at my soul. Just eats at my soul. Oh, whoo. So with that being said, this episode was. I didn't see much wrong with it at all. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, I might give it an 8. Really, if I had to make any change, I probably would have had just a few more action. But I really don't have an issue with the show. This episode was put together, executed just well. I see a lot. It is. The most part I really enjoy is the conversations between Loki and Morbius. Like, Morbius is like, I'm not taking it anymore. Your job is to help me find it. After that, your job is over. You're not going to manipulate me. You're not going to go do this and that. We're going to work together. And you're going to work. You're not working together. You're really working for me. And whatever I got to tell you to make you feel better, like, oh yeah, I'm helping you because I see a small child who has lost little boy who I want to help, or that you're the best Loki and you're the only one to catch it. Whatever makes you feel better, but I got to get the job done. And I just like it. The two of them together, it's like a buddy cop show, where one of those cop movies, right, where you have the cop who was probably one of the best in his precinct or whatever, and he's having trouble catch a crook, and he recruits another crook to help catch that crook. And this is exactly what that show is. That's the dynamic they have, and it's working out perfectly. It couldn't be a better. But with all that being said, man, that's all my time. The next time, I need y'all to tell me what y'all thought of the episode. It wasn't that long of a review, mostly because I don't have my team with me. I don't like doing solo videos. I really want my team here, at least a part of it. I feel like KD, when James Harden and Kyrie went down, like, one of y'all got to come. Harden, somebody got to bring come over here. Got to do it. So I need one. But I think I held it down. If I didn't, I don't care. The video had to get out. I do want to make a comment. We promised to review Black Lightning, the final season and episode. To be honest with you, both Al and Daniel gave up on Black Lightning. And to be honest with you, I think we've pretty much given up on the entire CW. I think the only one that we're keeping up with is Superman and Lois. Everything else is a real struggle to watch. I watched that. But you know what? I mean, we'll talk about that in another video. We'll just do it all together. We might just do one of those things where we just put all the CW shows together, make one long video, and just have it out, because this is atrocious. But we're here to talk about good shows like Loki. So with that being said, that's all my time the next time. Make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe, tell a friend, comment, do it, man. It's free. Go tell somebody, man. Share this joint. That help the algorithm keep us afloat, so we can keep bringing out content, and I can have my island down here. I even bring in some guests, man. Just do that. And make sure y'all keep up. Every week we gotta drop something new. I got a couple videos right now ready to go. But I need y'all to help me out. Until next time, I'm out. Deuces.
Yeah. We in the club, we partying. We in the club, we partying. Yeah. How much ice you got? I don't know.
Get it all, this man.
I cannot miss like I am the ace. Electrocute you, then I leave you with aftershock. Getting angry, then I turn her incredible hog. Buy it and bog. Chop it down like you one of them stalks. Take a girl, then I turn her into Shaw from Xenoblade.